Have you ever told yourself, maybe he'll change? And perhaps you've even seen it. A heartfelt apology, a hug, and things turning back to good between you for a few weeks. But then it creeps back in. The coldness, the walking on eggshells, the anger. And you ask yourself, will we ever be like we used to be? Why did he withdraw again? There's a reason that you keep hoping. When you have invested years, given your time, your body, your love, you need to believe that it wasn't all for nothing. And maybe there's children involved, shared finances, and a man who tells you that you're his lifeline. How could you walk away from that? Especially when it sometimes gets better. And at the start, there was love. Warm summer nights where you held hands, dinners at restaurants, and him mumbling sweet words against your shoulder. And still, you sometimes see glimpses of that man, the man that you love and who loves you. You know that he's still in there. But the truth is, if you're in a toxic relationship, those moments, those rare, warm moments, they may not be proof that things are changing or that they can change. They may be part of the abusive cycle. Let me explain what that is so that you can recognize if this is happening to you. The abusive cycle starts with the honeymoon phase. He's really attentive, sweet, interested in you, and you feel on top of the world. But then it shifts into the tension phase. You feel that something is off, he is withdrawing, perhaps he's giving you the silent treatment, criticizing you. And then comes the explosion. He's angry, or he says something nasty. After that, there is the reconciliation. You make up again, and the good phase returns for a bit. But in the abusive cycle, because it keeps going around and around, those good phases, him turning back to the lovely guy, those are actually part of the reset. That is his way of not taking accountability and not looking at his own behavior, but instead smoothing it over by behaving better for a while. And those periods are also there because they give you hope and they make you more invested into the relationship. They make you try harder for things not to deteriorate again. But if you look at the relationship from a bird's eye view, if you take a step back, things are slowly deteriorating. From each lap you go around the abusive cycle, things are getting worse. The tension is getting longer. The anger is getting more intense and it comes more frequent. And those nice and calm periods, they become shorter and shorter. And meanwhile, your energy drains away. In a toxic relationship, things often take a drastic turn for the worse after you have kids or after you become more dependent on him financially. When you no longer have the freedom to walk away, you no longer have to keep the mask and the charm on like he used to. And the control, the anger, the tension, the criticisms, and the withdrawal are seeping in more and more. And if you stop conforming to what he wants, and if you start questioning him, if you want to talk about how things are between you, then he punishes you by withdrawing or becoming angry. And tension... Ja.
Är du klar?
Nej, inte riktigt. Ska du gå och vila?
Jag vill ha någon som kan.
Ja, men jag kommer om en liten stund. Jag är inte riktigt klar.
Jag kliar på ryggen. Ja.
Men jag måste bli färdig, okej? Sen kommer jag.
Jag kan.
Lägg dig och vila om du vill. Lägg dig och vila.
Nej, jag ska
You try harder and harder to keep that good version of him. And still, it feels like it is slipping through your fingers. Sometimes you can get that good guy to return a bit, but only after you have given up another piece of yourself. In my case, that shift came about 3 months after our second child was born. But it had started during the pregnancy. He was withdrawing, he was colder, he wouldn't talk to me. And after our baby girl was born, he started to disappear, and I caught him lying about where he was. When I confronted him, because I was suspecting that he was cheating, he became angry. He called me crazy. He said that I had changed, and then he refused to touch me. And he also told me that I was focusing on the wrong things when I should take care of our kids, and that I didn't have any empathy for his crisis. He had become unemployed, and he was struggling with some anxiety, he said. But that he was able to treat me so coldly, I thought that, well, it must have an explanation. Perhaps he's not attracted to me anymore, or perhaps he doesn't love me anymore. So I continued to try to connect with him. He told me that he needed my support, and when we had arguments, he would blame me. Several times he stepped over the line, but then he would be really sweet, and we would have what I thought was an honest discussion where he shared about his feelings, where I would really feel sympathy for him. And I thought that he was just bad at talking about his emotions and kept everything inside. While in reality, we were going through the abusive cycle, and I learned to accept things that was previously unacceptable. They became my everyday life. When you go through the abusive cycle, your definition of normal is redefined. Your baseline changes. Things that you would have deemed unacceptable, you now see as not that bad. And you tell yourself that surely he didn't know how much that hurt you, or he must have been really stressed or anxious, otherwise he would have never done that. Because thinking that a person who loves you could do this on purpose is unthinkable. Meanwhile, your self-doubt grows. You start to question your decisions, how you say things, what you should do, why things are bad between you. This is not weakness. It's the conditioning that happens when you go through this abusive cycle again and again. You learn to prioritize his needs and wants above yours, because that is the only way to keep things semi-calm. What does real change look like then? Well, it doesn't look like buying flowers, saying I'm sorry, or promising to go to therapy when you say that you're done. It looks like consistent effort over time. It looks like you feeling more safe, that you're able to talk about things more openly and solve matters together. If you zoom out and watch the relationship over a longer period, things should improve, not deteriorate. If you still have to measure every word or find just the right moment before you talk to him so that he won't blow up, he hasn't changed. Perhaps he has only redefined control. So instead of asking yourself, what if he changes if I just try a bit harder, if I just give it some time, if I just wait until the kids are a bit older or our finances are a bit better? Ask yourself, what if it doesn't change? How long can you stay and pay the price? How many years can you stay and manage his moods? What will another round in the abusive cycle cost you in terms of your confidence, your health, your children's sense of what love is? You don't have to stop hoping overnight. But perhaps it's time to redirect that hope from him to you. To start to work on your health, on your rebuilding, on you finding peace, even if he never changes. If this felt familiar, I would recommend that you take a look at this video. It is about coercive control in relationship and about how it creeps up on you over years. I'm Emma holding up a light over the bridge. See you in the next video.